As you would look back on 2020, it would be very easy maybe to think, boy, that's a year to forget. But I think if we would just pause for a moment and think about the many, many blessings that God has brought to us here at St. Matthew's through our faculty and through our pastors and through our members' involvement throughout the course of the past year, it's been an amazing year.
The way the timing worked out actually worked out as a great blessing for us, because we rolled out our online giving options right before the whole COVID thing hit. And so we still had those opportunities for people to give through those online opportunities as we just rolled that out and got moving forward with that. God has richly blessed us with the enrollment of our school. We're at 206 for this school year, which has been a tremendous blessing. If you go back just a few years prior, we are increasing every single year and are up by quite a bit, even given the circumstances that we're in. But people are looking for quality Christian education, and we have the greatest gift to give them, the gospel of Jesus Christ.
A little more than a year ago, our congregation was led to call a full-time principal. What a blessing that's been for us, especially over this past year, to be able to have a 30-year veteran and former principal and Eric Zeal serving at our school, and to have a full-time principal and Tom Plitzelwhite coming on board, especially during this past year, for them to be able to work together with our faculty and to be able to provide the support our students and our school families have needed throughout the course of the year. And again, who would have thought that a year ago when we decided to make that call, that the need would have been even bigger than we had even imagined. The worship services that have been available online during the period of time when we couldn't worship together at all, a number of our members had watched that, but it has also truly been a blessing for those that maybe are shut and not able to get out at all. A number of our members have talked about what a blessing it is to be able to tune in with live streaming, or even if it was recorded, and be able to watch that in their home. As we got our congregation together and we had our ministry evaluation Sundays, and then that turned into some ministry planning activities that we had as a leadership group, and then we followed that up with an open forum. And the conversation and the input from our members during that open forum, questions that they might have about how will we move forward with the next phase of our ministry plans. That has truly been a blessing to have our members talking to us about what's next in our ministry planning activities. And as we look forward into this year, open forum having to be really focused on what are those next steps with our single site ministry plan and facility plan all coming together.
So our church picnic was one of the highlights of our summer. We had it at the Lions Park in Okauchee, and it was very well attended and received. We had the Lutheran Cayley Orchestra come and play for that and provide the music for that service and a special service outside. But just a great opportunity for fellowship and fun as a congregation that we were able to have and enjoy this year. That in a year where so much has changed and so much has been different, it was a blessing to be able to do that and partake of that. So we had 2 food drives so far this year, and the first one we had was back in May, and that was really in response to the COVID pandemic that we were facing. And we said, how can we help our community? How can we help people in need? And so we had a food drive that both helped the Oconomowoc Food Pantry, and also we accepted monetary donations to help support the Area Free Clinic as well. And the outpouring of support from both our congregation and community to help those in need was just overwhelming. In fact, we donated 3 Suburban fulls of food that was donated, in addition to over $7,000 that went to the Oconomowoc Food Pantry and the Lake Area Free Clinic as well. So we hold blood drives every few months, And one thing that they told us was that during this COVID pandemic that a lot of places have been canceling them, so the need has really gone up for donations of blood. So we decided to continue doing our blood drives and continue offering that to the community for people to donate blood and help out their neighbor in that way. So we decided, taking all the proper precautions necessary, and their workers as well that work the blood drives as necessary, that we can safely and effectively do this. And again, a great time of need. At the end of October, we held our Trunk or Treat event that we hold every year. And this year, we had a lot of families come out. In fact, it was our biggest one, probably double of what we had last year. Probably estimate 800 to 1,000 people attended. Just a fun opportunity for families. So we do door prizes, right? And then they fill out a little sheet and say on there if they've got a church home or if they're interested in a church school or our First Steps Center, and they indicate that on there. And from that, we've had 23 families indicate interest in one of those areas, either a church, school, or First Steps, or preschool in our ministries. And so it's a great way to reach out to them, to contact them as well, and share more about St. Matthew's with them, and most importantly, share more about our Savior with them.
In 2020, our members, despite a lot of the challenges and the hardships that folks have gone through throughout the course of the year, our members have continued to support our ministry in a number of different ways, financially. Year to date in 2020, our unified budget offerings, our weekly offerings, are 6% over what they were in 2019. Our Forward in Faith giving, the program that we had launched a little more than 3 years ago to help fund the initial payments on our new school site, that Forward in Faith, where we had set a $2.8 million stretch goal, we're within $150,000 of meeting that $2.8 million stretch goal in the middle of December.
I'm speaking with Bob Schrader about forming the steering committee again for this next phase of the Forward campaign. I think the first thing we're going to do is assemble a bunch of questions that our congregation is likely asking about this next phase. So I think we'll end up answering questions about the scope of the program in 2021. We're also going to start to meet with, I'll call it the consortium of vendors and partners that we had used for phase one, because we largely want to leverage those relationships when we work on phase two. So we'll start to meet with those partners, the builder, the architect, the company that helped us, Generis, who helped us with the fundraising campaign the first time around, and tell them what our intention is as we move ahead with the campaign or with the program. I think we'll know quite a bit by this summer.
I think if we pause for a moment, the list of blessings would get long very, very quickly, and that is something that we are truly blessed to have here at St. Matthew's.